I'm really proud of the way that the guys just put in the shit.
Hey, what's it like in Brazil right now? Is it warm? Yeah. It's always hot, huh? Yeah.
You really suck.
This sucks more than anything that I've ever sucked before.
You getting that ass, Larry? Know what I mean? You getting that ass, Larry. That's what the fuck you do.
We are enjoying a lot about this time here.
Why are you holding up a card to indicate a penalty? Like, there's so many different things you can do, and you decide to hold up a card? That's insane to me.
Oh no, I'm stuck. Step bro, come help me.
Where is the vagina? It's a trick question because you can't see it here. You need to part the labia first.
Even flow. All right. Thank you for that. Yeah. Welcome to the straight red card. Yeah. To me, it sounds like they say labia, Brett. They do.
100%. I think they do.
Yeah. Pumar says, I don't know if Venezia could beat an MLS team. Yeah, they're not a really good team. You got to keep in mind a lot of those players are the same players from Serie B. So not that great of a team, honestly. So we'll see how that works out for them. Not looking good. They are currently 18th out of 18. But they look like garbage. Or as Pumar says, they look so trash, as he says there. Funny thing came up because we were talking about the philias. And we were talking about medical terminology in school, and somebody yelled out necrophilia. And then somebody's like, is that cannibalism? And then this is in class. Somebody's like, yeah, but that doesn't.
During sex ed, right?
No, well, no, it's biology, right?
Sure.
And so, anatomy, my bad. And, not biology, that's a different course. I often confuse the two because I teach both, but a lot of crossovers in those classes. And some gal's like, yeah, but that doesn't happen very often. And I'm like, well, you got the Donner Pass thing, right? And she's like, but not recently. I'm like, well, that dude in Minnesota, what's his name? Jeffrey Dahmer. And then more recently, the Armin Muse case in Germany. The Armin Miss is how you pronounce it in German. And he had he would put out ads in the early 2000s about, I'm looking for a sacrificial lamb. Somebody would come over to my house and I could cut them up and eat them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody took him up on it. This guy named Bernd Brandes in Germany took him up on the offer and said, yeah, you can kill me and eat me. But first I want you to cut off my dick and eat that. I want to eat that together before you kill me. So originally he wanted Armin to bite his dick off. But he couldn't get his teeth all the way through it. It's apparently it's too firm. I don't know what it was. Too rubbery, whatever. He couldn't bite the dude's dick off. Now they gave the dude Bert took like a bunch of sleeping pills and drank like a bunch of schnapps or whatever. So he's pretty wasted while this guy's trying to bite his dick off. And so they couldn't. So eventually they took out a knife and they filmed all of this, filmed it all. And so eventually, Muse got a knife out and cut this guy's penis off. And then he fried it in a pan while this guy's bleeding out, right? He's bleeding out. It's crazy. So he takes the guy that's bleeding out and he puts him into the tub. They run hot bath, whatever. And then he cooks up the penis and they try to eat it together in the bathroom. And it's too chewy. Like it's overcooked. It's too chewy. Like overcooked cock. Oh my God. So anyhow, disgusting as this is, we read
if they're Germans, how in the world are they overcooking a sausage?
I don't know. I really don't. Just boil it for a few minutes. It would be fine. Anyhow, they overcooked this cock. And then he kept cooking it and he burnt it. But he did serve it up with white wine, butter, garlic, salt and pepper. And but it was too burnt. So they couldn't finish it. So they chopped it up into smaller chunks and fed it to the dog. And then he slit the guy's throat. He died in the tub.
Dog doesn't want that cooked.
He ate it.
Well, of course he's going to eat it. He's getting processed garbage all of his life. And all of a sudden you throw a sausage towards him. Of course he's going to gobble it down.
This is real meat, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyhow, if you don't know the story about Armin Muse and Bernd Brandes, it's a horrible thing. And the tapes have never been released, but the poor policemen and the poor investigators and the jury that had to watch all this. Now, there was a big battle, right, in the German system because this guy wasn't really murdered. He chose to be murdered, right? He asked to be killed and eaten. And that's just what Muse did because Muse consumed like 40 pounds of his body. He cut him up into like a butcher would and put it in the freezer and ate him for months, 8 months. Or he was caught. So he just did what the guy asked him to do. Is that really murder? So he ended up getting off with manslaughter.
Sure, he did get off.
Well, that was part of it too, was a sexual thing for both of them. Yep.
Wait, for both of them, are you referring to the guy who was murdered as well?
Both of them had a fixation with eating, with sex, necrophilia and sex. And they fantasized about it, right? But if you're the guy that volunteers to have his dick cut off and be killed, like that's like the worst way to go out.
Well,
I can't think of a worse way to volunteer to go out.
I just want to know how he got into that kink. I mean, you can only do that once.
Right. But he must have fantasized about it because he volunteered to do it.
He's all doped up on those sleeping pills, and all of a sudden he's thinking to himself like, nope, this isn't worth it. Stop.
And this is the same dude who's basically telling Muse, you've got to bite it off. Let's try to have you bite it off. Like, oh my God. I don't care how many sleeping pills you're on. Can you really watch that go on down there and be okay with that?
I'm sure he wasn't really watching it.
Oh my God. And then he cut it off with a knife. This is one of the weirdest cases I've ever read about. It's on Wikipedia. You can look it up. Muse is Meiwes. And I'm sure there's other sites that cover it too.
It's weird because like here in the States, even if somebody asks you to kill them, it's still murder.
Right. Unlike,
I mean, you're not there's some degree of murder, but then again, at that point you're planning it out. So that's first degree.
Yeah. He only got manslaughter. And I think he's out of jail.
Isn't manslaughter like accidental? Isn't that the whole point of manslaughter compared to murder?
Yeah, I don't know how they justified that in Germany. I really don't. I don't get it. But anyhow, I brought the case up. We talked about it. They're like, no, we don't believe you. So I pulled it up on Wikipedia and they read it and they nearly puked. Well, they were pretty aghast by it. And I said, yes, this does happen. There are people out there like
Isn't that technically assisted suicide? Does Germany have that? I know Canada does.
The Dutch do. So do Canada. Well, Dutch just fucking killed like that 28-year-old woman who had.
Didn't that turn out horrifically though?
No, but she had mental disorders, and a little counseling might have helped her. Like she survived she had PTSD.
I thought there was complications with the assisted suicide.
Oh, I'm sure there are, but I don't think it happened with her case. Maybe it did. I don't know.
Okay. I'm not Googling that.
No, I'm not right now. Anyhow, Bob's your uncle for $1.99. Thank you, my brother. Mirko Di Natale says Juve targeting Pepi in the winter. Okay.
I got that. I said it beforehand. I could have saved it perfectly, but I didn't read it.
I mean, listen, they're probably, if Pepi keeps doing this, there are probably going to be a lot of teams targeting Pepi. I think Juventus is, I don't know if that's the answer for Pepi, though. I'm not sure that's where he really wants to go.
Seymour says to sit behind Vlahovic. Well, I mean, he's like, as of right now, he's pretty much their only striker. Unless you count Weah, and they can play Weah, but
if this De Jong injury continues,
is Malik still there?
Malik Tillman?
No, is Malik still a UV? I don't know.
The real point being is that he needs to go somewhere where he's going to play, not sit behind some other big names. And listen, if he continues to score goals at the rate he is right now, and he's tied for the lead in scoring in the Dutch, first division, there will be suitors. I don't know if it's going to be Juventus. That seems a bit much, because remember when Josie was the lead scorer in Holland, he ended up at Sunderland, right?
Yeah.
So, or was it Southampton?
Good question. I don't remember now.
Always get those two teams with their colors.
I think it was Sunderland. I think it was Sunderland.
Completely mixed up, but I think it was Sunderland. And that didn't work out real well. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to Pepi, but I just don't think the big ass teams are coming after him yet. Let's just see how this works out.
I think with Josie's issue, he went to Sunderland and played a completely different type of striker. I think at the time he went to Sunderland, I think Pepi plays the target striker better than Josie was.
Oh, for sure.
So
yes,
it was not a good move. Like, I don't know, the coach at Sunderland must have looked at all those goals, saw this big-bodied American striker, and he's like, oh my God, he's going to hold up so well.
Well, here's the thing. Can you remember how many goals, any significant goals Josie ever scored in the air? Ever. Header.
I'm sure
anything.
There's one.
Oh, I'm sure there is, but it just wasn't his game.
I can't.
But if you're 6'1", 6'2", and you got a frame like that, you should be fucking heading balls into goals constantly. And the number of corner kicks Sunderland had that season where he was in the box and never got onto a single one of them or scored or anything. Now, that's not happening to Pepi. He will score. You give him enough crosses, he'll score. He's good in the air. He's a great header. So I'm not worried about Pepi fitting into a system like that. I think he's overall a much better player than Josie was. Josie's certainly a bigger physical specimen, and maybe had a bigger rocket with his leg, but fucking Pepi's more accurate with his leg. Like, that dude just doesn't miss, right? Mm-hmm. So Josie headed down the ball that allowed Bradley to tie the Slovenia game in 2010 World Cup. Yeah, okay. I'm not talking about assists. I'm talking about how many times for Sunderland was Josie in the box when corner kicks were taken. There were many, and he never got on any of them. And by the way, his teammates didn't pass him the ball either. Let's be real honest.
The one big negative about his time at Sunderland is that he drew like 5 or 6 PKs that season, and didn't get to take a single one of them. So everybody will look at his score, his stats for that, and like, oh my God, he scored like 1 goal in all competitions or whatever the fuck it was, something stupid like that. Maybe not at all. But I mean, if they would have let him take his PKs, he probably could have had at least 5 goals, and it would have been less horrible.
Yeah. So Johansson, aka Bacon, he got a lot of goals in the Eredivisie too. But to be fair to Bacon, that was injuries. That was all injuries.
Yeah. If Bacon didn't have dancer's hip, he would have been fine.
Yeah,
I think he would have continued to score.
And you said you wanted examples of Pepi with the headers. Well, my point, which was the dude can't score with a header.
You're referring to Josie.
Josie, yes.
No.
So a BMR was trying.
All right, well, 15 minutes in, guys. We can't be talking about soccer right now. I understand it all spawned from a super chat. Let's reel it back in. We still got fluff to talk about.
All right, for the 115 of you already here, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with grandma. Kiss your stepsister.
Yeah. So Derek.
Yeah.
Are there some extracurricular activities that you would choose not to do because of the danger behind them? You know, like bungee jumping or
hell, I'm not doing any of that shit. I'm not climbing cliffs. I'm not jumping bungee. I'm not climbing any mountains. Fuck all that shit. I'm not swimming with sharks. None of it. Nothing. Yeah. Not happening.
I don't have a fear of heights, but there's no fucking chance in hell this would ever happen with me. I'm going to turn the volume up on you. But I would never do this.
No.
I'm watching someone go, oh, he's got a parachute on his back somehow.
Oh, good.
But as he gets closer, you don't see any straps. The guy has got a little tiny wrap that's connected to a string.
Yeah, but this is an average guy. This is some guy doing this. He's practiced this.
Oh, no shit. No chance in hell, though.
I'm not doing it. I'm not even going up in one of those fucking balloons. Not doing it.
But then he's just sitting on the ledge and everything like that. And then I'm like, dude, get your ass inside the.
He does not have a parachute.
No.
Fucking idiot.
No chance.
What a fucking moron. Anyhow, yeah, I'm not doing any dangerous stuff. I'm doing the dangerous stuff to myself, but it's in my own apartment. I am drinking, I am smoking, and all the other bad things that I do to myself. That's my habit. I don't need to go out and risk my life prematurely, which I do every time I get on 465, the fucking highway here in Indianapolis, with all the morons out there driving with their fucking heads up their asses. Yeah, I'm putting my life at risk every time I drive home from work. But other than that, I have to do that. I don't have to climb Mount Everest. That can go fuck itself. He has a full climbing harness. Okay.
Still no, not gonna happen. Wouldn't happen.
I'm not doing it. That harness could break.
And you're just dangling there, 10,000 feet up in the air, whatever the fuck they're at. I don't know how many thousands of feet they are, but
well, I don't know if balloons.
It's enough. It's enough.
You gonna take a balloon that high? You got balls. I get it, bro. Oh, you talking about the guy doing that?
Guy climbing,
Yeah. And that's the same people. The same thing. People, they climb Everest for the bragging rights, right?
Yeah.
For the bragging rights. I do have to say, it's just not white people that climb Everest, though. Although it is mostly white people, but a lot of Indians and Pakistanis and a lot of people climb Everest of all different shades, and they're all stupid all together. So Carl Stripe says, "Do it, pussy." Yeah, you pass 20 people climbing Everest, and that's just because they've cleaned it up. There used to be a lot more dead people on the way up.
You chip them out of the ice, and they just send them down the hill.
Well, they moved them to places where you can't see them. There was one called Sleeping Beauty, which I believe was a German woman, and she had been visible for like 20 years, and they finally kind of moved her out of view, so you can't see her going up the mountain.
They're missing out on a tourist stop. Like they go like, hey, you want to take a quick hike up to see Sleeping Beauty? It's only so many thousands of feet up, and it's not that bad. You can see her here, and then they come back. And maybe they have a hot dog stand next to it or something. I don't know.
Froze. Well, yeah, I mean, you could, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's like a cemetery, basically, as you walk up there. And before you get to the cemetery, at the bottom where you camp, it's a shit fest. There's giant piles of shit everywhere because
all
people
tents and sleeping bags and wrappers and dead bodies.
There's no way to move the shit off the mountain. Like, people have been shitting there for 30, 40, 50 years nonstop. And well, like literal shit.
Literal shit, yeah.
Literal shit. Yes. Yeah. Feces. Frozen feces.
Yeah. I just think part of that cemetery is somebody frozen while taking a shit, right?
That could happen. Yeah, for sure.
He's got his face is like straining, but he's like frozen forever.
I don't think that's happened, but if it did, I want to know about it. I want to know about it. If it has, please document it and send it our way. All right.
Yeah. So, Derek, going along with those crazy things that I'll never do in my lifetime, those photos from like the early 1900s of building skyscrapers, and they're just guys walking across, the steel beams, 40, 50, 60 stories high, but not connected to shit. They're just sitting there eating a sandwich on their lunch break.
Yep.
First off, never would do that shit.
No.
But I feel like
but guys had to make a living, so they did it.
Fair.
Yep.
Like we're gonna be moving out to the Dust Bowl. I'll take my chances with that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But I mean, here's another one. I mean, some other countries just take it to a whole new level. So here's some construction going on. Let me mute first. I don't even know what's going to come up. I didn't hear it. Just got to work here real quick. Watch that.
Those are twigs.
Yeah, I know.
Those are fucking twigs.
And I'm just going to start walking back across here.
That's fucking crazy.
That's
not right. Where is this?
I don't know.
China?
Possible.
Yeah, I'll pass.
It's not my thing, you know. And he's wearing like slip-on slippers, and just like slippers, man. I don't know, maybe his feet can kind of grip a little bit better with that around the those aren't bamboo, but still.
I mean, it looks like bamboo.
Looks like bamboo, yeah. DK57 says Cleveland.
I don't think that would pass safety inspection in Cleveland. Just honestly,
no chance. No chance.
No, there's no way. This is China.
Yeah, has to be.
Or some other, building nation. By the way, somebody mentioned the Sherpas at Mount Everest have DNA of the Denisovians. Yes, they do. Correct. I think I brought up the Denisovians a few shows ago because they also mated with Neanderthals and humans. So there we go. I got Derek muted. Oh God, Johnny, seriously. You just called yourself a legend.
Well, I know we're in there second guessing as far as where that construction site was located at, but I found the finished product. You want to see what the finished product looks like?
Okay. Oh my God!
The entire stands shaking, man.
That's scary.
There are people under it, man.
Where are they? Where is this?
It's all shaking. I can tell you in a second. That was in here. It's in Paraguay.
Yeah, that doesn't look stable.
Oh my God! Yeah, RFK Stadium.
That does not look stable.
Oh yeah. Man.
No, I'll pass. Like that could be like hundreds of thousands of people dead here easily.
Yeah, easily. Everybody up here, and then everybody underneath them at least.
Yep.
Oh.
I would definitely be getting out from underneath for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be totes done.
Yep.
Lord.
Okay.
All right. Great. I've got one more fluff piece to talk about, and this is sort of a personal fluff piece, I guess. So I kind of let you in on a little bit before the show to talk about it to get an idea of what I'm going to bring up here.
Mm-hmm.
But Jackson partakes in 2 leagues. We've talked about it. 2 indoor seats.
Yeah.
Does an actual indoor league with walls and shit, and then he does a futsal league, which is 4v4.
Right.
And he's doing the futsal league, and we're kind of the team itself. Out of the 6 players, 4 of them came from Jackson's rec team, and 2 of them were house players. So I'm just going to flat out say we're pretty much a rec team.
Yeah, right.
And it's a rec plus beginner league.
Right.
And I just assume because it's Indie Premier, we're going to be facing a bunch of Indie Premier rec plus teams, which is predominantly what's happened so far. So
getting your ass kicked.
Yeah. So two of the 4 games so far has been absolute curb stomps. Just like lose track of score. Who cares, guys? The other 2 games we've been in on the games. Like it's been close. We still lost. So we're 0-4 right now. We're talking about looking to see if there's a in the second season if there's an actual regular rec league. And I guess my question to you in the chat in this situation is: do you think it's better for the kids who are rec players to play other rec players and be competitive, or would it be better for them, thinking long term, to play against better players and maybe get curb stomped half the time or more, but I guess learn on the job against better players?
Yeah, just keep playing the better teams. Eventually they'll catch up, I think. Mm-hmm. But that's the only way you get better. So I say keep playing the better players. So
my thought is, at least if we come out of this season with anything, the concept of thinking and playing faster with the ball could be something that they can easily obtain by playing these games. So you have to to stay alive in the season, in the game, you have to play faster, think faster. But I feel like every game, even the curb stop games, we're taking at least one major thing and learning from it. And I think each game is kind of a step in the right direction, even though we're still playing against some really good teams as far as that age bracket is concerned.
I mean, as long as you're real with them, listen, we're playing a level higher than we should, but we're all going to get better. And sooner or later, we're going to start winning some of these games. And I think that's the way you frame it to them. And they'll go out and fight for you. But, I think in the long run, that's probably the better thing. I mean, you go down a level and then win every game is easily. Yeah, that's not, you're not getting any better doing that.
And
So,
yeah, and that's the thing. It's my concern. My only concern really is the whole mentality of it all. Will the kids get disheartened by constantly losing so bad, or will they see the forest through the trees? Is that the phrase?
But you're not losing every game.
No, we've lost every game, but we've been competitive
close.
before. Yes.
Okay, that's fine then. That's 50% of the game you've been in it, and eventually they're going to get better, and they're going to win some of those close ones, and they're going to get that occasional win, and then they'll feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just getting slaughtered every game, then you're way out of your league, and you're not competitive with anybody. Yeah, maybe a step down.
Well, and like I was saying, taking one thing and learning from it and growing into the next game and stuff like that. We may still be losing, but we're picking something up. So like on Sunday's game, first off, it was an 8 a.m. game. None of the kids were awake. The other team were all awake. They must have done a training before the game, like at 5 o'clock or something. They were all running around, no problem. My kids were all like just, zombies on the pitch. But they do the same. So the other team has to be on their half the field when we're doing our goal kicks. And for whatever reason, our players' thought process is to get on their half the field and let us try to hook the ball over to it. It's a small field. I mean, they could do it, but the other problem is you have the entire team right there too.
Yeah, you're going to get
every time we kick the ball. Every time they kick the ball up there, their team just steps right in front of us because we've got a kind of a wreck mentality as far as waiting for the ball. And so at halftime, I'm sitting there, guys, you guys are making this way too difficult. I called over, my brother who's the assistant coach, and I'm going to take a goal kick, and he's like 3 feet away from me, and I pass him the ball. I go, hey, guys, see how easy that was? And the opponents are like 10, 15 yards away from you. You have plenty of time to turn the ball and move forward.
Yeah.
And maintain possession instead of just hoofing it up there.
Yeah,
what ends up happening is we end up having a 3v1 after we hoof it up there because they just counter on us.
Yep.
So
yeah, absolutely.
It's if they're not getting too disheartened by it and they're learning something each match, I think it's better.
And like I said, eventually they will start winning a couple games here and there, right?
That's what I think. Like I said, the match before this, we could have beat them.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
So you're not way out of your league. It's just like half the teams are. The other half you can compete with.
Now,
yeah. All right.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's got play better teams. Some people are like, well, if you're constantly getting beaten by 1 million goals, it's not good for anyone. And these are all concerns.
Right, but you're not getting beat by 1 million goals every game.
So yeah, and I don't think so. This is an Indy Premier facility. Which is why when we entered it, I assumed we were just going to be playing nonstop Indy Premier teams.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris is like, well, we want to reach out to the guy who runs and see if they do have an actual rec team because the first season had an early deadline, like in October, so a lot of teams were still playing outdoor. And I'm like, well, we can check, I guess, but I don't think there's going to be. I'm pretty sure this is just a winter facility for their Rec Plus teams to stay in shape and ready to go. And then they have a travel program as well out there too, which is
right.
So
hang in there for a while.
Kevin wants to know what are the ages? Your team younger losing versus older age teams? No, it's a U10 league, and we're just a regular rec team, like literally like a throw together team from Noblesville, playing against a bunch of Rec Plus team, which is basically organized travel but not travel.
Right.
Like the step in between rec and travel, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So these teams have probably been playing together for at least a year or more, and they're doing multiple practices with more motivated players to do the work. So
yep.
It's just a difference in quality,
Sure. Right now it is. We'll see if that changes as your team experiences this. All right, for the 164 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with Grandma, and say hi to Noblesville rich kids. I mean, mostly, but
in comparison to in most of Indiana, yeah. But when you compare Noblesville to the rest of Hamilton County, or just the south side of Hamilton County, we're probably the poorest of the towns.
I mean, Fishers, Carmel,
Westfield, Zionsville,
Hamilton County, yeah. I mean, mostly rich, but not all. Not all.
Mm.
Not all. But yes, mostly well off. Not even rich, but well off at least, or doing well. Like Brett's not a millionaire, all right, but he's doing well enough.
If I was a millionaire, I certainly wouldn't be doing it in this facility here. I would have my own at my house.
Right.
Wouldn't have to travel for the shit.
My parents live in Noblesville. They're on the lake. They're closer to rich than either of us. So there's that. All right. Well, let's move on.
All right. It's a fun little picture I saw. We got West Ham, we got East Ham, Fulham, and then Nottingham.
That's good. That's really good. Oh, by the way,
in time for the holiday season too.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Enjoy that on Thursday. Just found out my brother's not going to be able to make it down. He got shingles, which is horrible. Bad case of it. Like he got that De Pointer's disease, the Viking disease, where his hand all curls up. He got the shingles from my dad's side of the family. That's the Viking side of the family. Me, German side of the family, I got all my grandfather's genes. I look like him. I have his hands. I got hair all over me like he does. So I'm going to take that, although I got to look out for the blood cancer, which the family has on that side. But other than that, but not on the male side, just the female. So I think I'm all right. Now I'm going to kill myself anyhow, not commit suicide or anything. I guess
you're gonna take up an ad in the paper to get your dick cut off and eaten.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm calling you first, Brett. All right.
Eat your dick, dude. I'm not even gonna go. Wouldn't even chop it off to tell you the truth. Like, there, you keep your dick in your pants.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. You would step in and say, Derek, this is a bad idea. I'm glad someone would come to their senses and go, after all, I think I'm rethinking this. I don't really want to do. I don't want you to chop my dick off and eat it. I changed my mind.
Derek, there are better ways for me to get in the paper. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh, Jesus, I don't
want to be that guy.
Yeah, you stick to putting all your frozen turkeys in the freezer, not a body.
Yeah. Chris Gary asked how many turkeys this year, Brett, and I got 4 in my freezer right now. I'm doing a lot of shuffling with my freezers because there's a bunch of random
body parts.
Yeah, random frozen cocks and shit. But I'm trying to shuffle it in there. I'm supposed to be getting another deep freeze from my brother-in-law, and I'm gonna stock up on there. I'll have a turkey every month. That's the plan. All right. Won't happen. I'll have to start cooking the ones now and buying new ones, but Meyer finally has them, for 49 cents a pound. It's nice. Going back to my $10 birds.
John says shingles only come out if your immune system is weak. Yeah, I mean, that might be the case, but it's also hereditary. Not everybody gets shingles, and, you're either susceptible to it or not. So chicken pox is like herpes. You have the virus for life. Yes. And it gets mutated and your body forgets how to fight it as it mutates. And then it comes out as shingles later on. It sucks. And I'm not a doctor, but, apparently it's pretty bad and pretty painful. And you can't give it to other people, or it can affect other people around you. So he's not coming. So it's just going to be my son, Nick, me, my mom, and my dad. That's okay. That'll work.
What Anthony's asking, what's our Thanksgiving spread? What are you responsible for cooking this year?
So
or are you doing it all?
I'm not. My dad's going to do the rib roast, so I stay out his way on that one. I don't know what else I'm going to do. I really don't do much on Thanksgiving because I cook all the other meals around it. So I'll be cooking Wednesday, and then we'll be doing wings on Wednesday, and then on Friday we're doing a seafood like slammer, where we got lobster, crab, mussels, clams. I mean, you name it, like a seafood smorgasbord that I will be making for everybody. So it'll be delicious. And now we have way more seafood than because my mom bought enough for my brother coming. And my brother devours food. So now we got way too much of everything. So it'll be great.
And then you have lobster tail for you, I guess.
Oh, yes. Love lobster.
Yeah. So I'll be going up to Michigan to the in-laws.
Of course,
for
yes.
Thanksgiving. That's their holiday. And I'm only responsible for cooking green bean casserole.
That's it, huh?
That's all I gotta do.
Now for school tomorrow for the lunchtime Thanksgiving, I just made macaroni and cheese, like the real with like 5 different cheeses. I got sharp cheddar, white cheddar, Parmesan, provolone, and Parmesan, cream, butter, a little bit of slap your mama, and some salt and pepper, covered with breadcrumbs. Baked for 2.5 hours, pulled it out. It's cooling right now. I'll be taking that into school tomorrow to serve to, well, the staff and the kids. But there are 2 other people making macaroni and cheese as well. I bet you mine is going to be the best. That's what I'm betting. And by the way, tonight I am drinking the final and last qualified Maple Barrel Quad by Taxman Brewing. I do like it. It's potable. It's 10% alcohol by volume. All right.
I looked at some Taxman. I was looking at it going, ooh, maybe I'll get that. But then I ended up deciding to get 3 Floyd's Turbo Reaper IPA.
I hate IPAs, but yeah, I get you.
BMR says blue cheese is awful.
Not with wings.
Blue cheese is great.
With wings? It's
blue
delicious.
cheese salad, blue cheese burger. Oh, I can't go wrong. Black and blue. Oh, you can't go wrong with a black and blue burger.
I agree. I think it depends on how you use the blue cheese.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the idea behind blue cheese is gross as fuck.
Yes. It smells awful.
It tastes delicious.
Yeah. Ranch and
we've got own stinky cheese, you know.
You can mix ranch with some blue cheese and stir it up real good. It works real well too. It's a little blue cheese. Little bit of blue cheese. Blue cheese smells like old socks and cocks. But I think the point is to
taking any blue cheese snooters or whatever, you know.
Just don't eat it straight up. You got to mix it with something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It depends on also the wing of choice and what you're putting on the wings. It's like the only time I ever really cook wings myself. I'll order wings when I go out to places and stuff like that. But the only time I ever cook wings at home, I will make a honey jalapeno barbecue sauce, and I don't put anything else on that. That is enough.
Sometimes it's just enough.
Yeah.
Although I am a dipper, so I do like having a little ranch and a blue cheese on the side. I do. In case I want to have a little dip. But buffalo wings, great with ranch, great with blue cheese. In my opinion.
Sure.
You know, you don't have to like it, but blue cheese and ranch. Yeah, it's mayo. It's mayo.
Is that why somebody mentioned Dick's mayo earlier?
Dick's mayo.
Yeah, it was Untouchables. He said it.
Boy, did I fuck that up.
For the 140 of you who don't know what Dick's Mayo is, since there's 160 of you here.
There's 160 at plus. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm saying there's at least 20 of the people in the chat that know what Dick's Mayo is.
Yes.
And the other 140 people are going, the fuck are they done?
Mayo? That's on me. I mistook the name for Duke's Mayo as Dick's Mayo. That's on me. I blew that. Yeah, Dick's Mayo sounds much grosser than Duke's Mayo.
I'm talking about Dick's Mayo and blowing, okay?
Unless you got a big-ass dog named Duke, then you really don't want to be Duke's Mayo either.
Or if your name is the Duke, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought the hilarious thing was after you made that blunder, like literally that weekend my mother-in-law was in town, and she actually got Duke's Mayo.
Oh, Duke's Mayo's the best.
But I'm just like, what are the fucking odds? I've never heard of Duke's Mayo until Derek fucked it up. I was rolling with you. I was like, there's that thing called Dick's Mayo. Oh my god. And all of a sudden, the chat's like, it's Duke's Mayo, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like a couple days later, I get a container of Duke's Mayo. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes, it's great shit. It's really good. It's the best mayo out there. Mm-hmm. Better than Hellman's. Better than.
Oh, I'll agree with that now. Yeah.
Yep.
Duke's
all right.
Duke's is delicious.
Duke's is delicious. All right, what up? The opposite of vagina mail. Ugh. All right, what else we got? You blue. Do not panic. Do not panic. Cap them now. Cap them now. All right, who we capping?
Here we go.
A 15-year-old named Cairo Smith Phillips of Crystal Palace. He's already got a Nike sponsorship. Well, oh my God. Woo! He's a capable player. He's a player capable of playing anywhere in the front line. He won the U14 The Streets Football 1v1 competition. Oh, get out the lube for that. Go watch his highlights on YT. All right, yeah, let's chill. All right, let's just chill on this kid. All right, I can't believe we're pumping up a 15-year-old.
Every time we talk about one of these 15-year-old kids that have like 45 different nationalities, I'm like, we pull them up, and you're always like, well, pull up his transfer market. I'm like, all right, hold on. I looked for his transfer market at the time. He doesn't have a transfer.
He doesn't. No, he's never played for anything but like the U15s probably, or they don't go that deep. So, I mean, we'll acknowledge his existence, but I'm not getting excited about any 14, 15-year-old. No.
I think Jamaica's calling him up for World Cup qualifying.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I don't even think he can make that team now. So just call me when he is playing for the Crystal Palace U21s. Then I'll pay attention. Don't bring it up otherwise.
What?
No, there's no point.
Okay.
No point.
Okay.
No point.
So we're moving on to the next guy, sticking in the same year, but somebody that's at least playing that we know of. We may not know him, I guess, but
okay. Somebody brought up Matisse Albert. Let me just say something. Matisse Albert is playing way above his age group and killing it. That's why you pay attention to Matisse Albert. This kid isn't even on transfer market yet. Okay? The kid we just talked about. Matisse Albert is a real fucking prospect, a very fucking serious one, who is extremely fucking talented and has a high ceiling, and he's proving it because he's going out there playing against a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds and kicking their fucking asses. So, yeah, Matisse Albert is the real deal. So that's why we're not breaking out the lube on Matisse Albert because a lot could happen from here until then. But it's a player we're interested in.
The cabinet door's open, right?
Absolutely. I've opened the cabinet drawer. I've looked at the lube, and I put a sticker on it and said, wait till 18. Right? Wait till 18 years
Yeah.
old.
Or until he breaks the first team. Maybe he breaks the first team at 16.
Well, then it'll get kind of gross. But yes.
Fair, yeah.
That'd be a little early on the loop thing. All right, 15-year-old Ademir Chavez has been on fucking fire for his new club.
That's gotta hurt.
FC. He's got what is that? When you're on fire with the penis, when you got the venereal disease, that's the gonorrhea. Is that the gonorrhea?
You would know better than I would.
I would not. I've never had any venereal diseases. I don't know, but one of them burns.
Given the stories we've heard, Derek, congratulations. Good job.
Yeah, I know. That's a miracle,
You
frankly.
dodged bullets, man.
It was a fucking miracle. There were many mornings I woke up and thought, I got one now. No doubt. All right, 15-year-old Adam Schreier has been on fire, not in his penis, at his new club, FC Cincinnati, scoring 10 goals in the last 7 games. Great. But he doesn't play for FC Cincinnati. And I hate motherfuckers who post this shit and don't say he plays for FC Cincinnati U17s or the U15s. No, you're not going to say that. Why won't you say that? Why won't you fucking clarify? It's like when, so-and-so's playing for Dortmund. No, he's not. He's playing for the Dortmund U19s.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually their U16 academy team.
Yeah, it's like
U16, U18.
Quit pushing shit so hard. He's not playing for FC Cincinnati. That's a fucking MLS team in the first division. He's playing for a youth team in FC Cincinnati, a youth FC Cincinnati team. Admir has previously represented Mexico's national team. Oh shit! Dual net panic, and has been called into the U.S. whatever training camps as well. One to watch. Okay, fine. But why don't you accurately describe where he's at? What youth team at Cincinnati is he playing for? Can you please do that? No offense, Footy Axis, but I'm really getting sick of reading these posts that make other people who are not soccer fans but casuals wonder why this 15-year-old is playing for an MLS team. Well, he's not playing for an MLS team. So can we be accurate and say where they're playing, please? Please? Can we stop?
They're going to chime in and go, somebody's going to be like, oh, dude, I saw on Twitter that it's this 15-year-old dual Nats playing in MLS, an MLS team. Oh, are we already talking about Freddie Adu here?
Yeah.
I mean,
Freddie Adu did play for an MLS team at 15. So don't assume that we should all presume that when you say that, especially if you're a casual who is really looking forward to the future of U.S. men's national team and watches all the U.S. men's national team games and probably catches a few EPL games on the weekend. But yeah, they're going to read that and think, oh, we got a 15-year-old playing in MLS. No, we do not. So stop saying it. Thank you. I think Pete was talking about.
Fumar asked. He goes, "Didn't Pete say the Mexican dual nat was a Twitter rumor for this kid?"
It doesn't matter. He's fucking 15. Who gives a fuck at this point?
He's not fucking 15. This kid is.
Yeah, either way,
That's fine.
It doesn't matter. We've got 2 to 3 years to see whether or not they grow hair on their balls and actually play soccer with real men.
All right.
Until then, fucking take it easy.
I hear you. Let's stop talking about 15-year-olds.
Please.
Stop talking about 16-year-olds or 17-year-olds. Let's move into actual dual nat who are men.
Okay, let's do it. According to Arel Kabatbat of the Manila Standard, oh my God, the Philippines national team director is pursuing to bring in Owen Wolf and his brother in 2025. Well, fine. That's fine. I mean, I don't know if Owen Wolf really wants to do that, but he'll never play in a World Cup.
That's gonna be the thing. Like he might not necessarily want to do that, but this might be the only viable option for him to get international play.
Why does he need to give up this early? He's in his early 20s.
Sure.
What is he?
Are we seeing
20
Are we
at
seeing,
best?
he played with the U20s, so it's got to be at least around that range.
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's no point in him doing this.
As of right now, I would say no too. I haven't watched any of him really playing outside of the U20s, so I don't know.
They're good players, and they're young, so just chill out.
It's the same thing we see with all dual nats, right?
At 25, 26, it's pretty obvious to you will never play for the U.S. men's national team. Then go play for the Philippines. Or, if you decided that at 23, fine. But don't decide it at 20. Don't decide it at 19. There's no point in fucking rushing shit to go play for a shitty fucking Asian conference team that's never, ever going to qualify for the World Cups. Ever. Ever.
Well, I mean, now they got the 1.5 now, so they might.
No, they're still not going to make it. I could name a bunch of teams better than the Philippines before I even reach the Philippines. First of all, you got the obvious ones like Japan, Korea, Australia. All right. Then you got.
Imagine Philippines are probably in the Oceanic, are they not?
No, they're not.
Really?
No. The only teams in the Oceanic are New Zealand and Fiji and a bunch of Samoa and a bunch of other fucking small little shit stinker teams. They're all island teams. All of them are island teams in Oceania.
That's why I assumed the Philippines were too.
No, they're in Asia, and they're going to have to beat up Japan, Korea, China.
And that's yeah, I agree. They have no chance in hell.
No, they're not.
You might as well not even take that. Why would you take it? Because then you have to fly 14, 15, 18 hours for a World Cup qualifying match from the United States.
And we haven't even mentioned Iran, Saudi Arabia, all the other teams in Asia. They're way better than the Philippines, and the Philippines have Dick's chance of ever qualifying for the World Cup. So go ahead and do it, but you don't need to make the decision this soon. Now, make it when you're 23, 24, whatever. But if you want to do it now, go ahead, because that's fine too. That's fine too. I got no problem with either of the Wolf brothers doing that. And it would make a big difference for the Philippine national team. I can tell you that much. A big difference, but not enough to qualify for the World Cup. Sorry. They couldn't beat.
No, that's fair.
They probably can't beat Vietnam. They probably can't even beat. Yeah. I mean, come on. Philippines, they play more baseball and boxing. That's their fucking sports.
Yeah. I don't know. I just assumed it was Oceanic. I didn't assume it was Asian. So
you'd be amazed, Brett, when you'd be like Vanuatu. They're like all these island, like tiny little micro islands in the fucking Oceanic League. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So, that's the end of that, right? Or do we have more of these?
Yeah, we're still talking about doing that Panics, actually.
No shit. Frankfurt. Oh, you are so right. So I had somebody write me.
It's a progression, Jack. It's a progression.
I had somebody write me and send me an article from Germany that I was shocked to read. Absolutely shocked. And it was an article that basically said that, and so when Poach said in his interview, he reached out to numerous players in Europe and that he wasn't satisfied that any of them were really that committed to play for the U.S. I assumed that one of those players must definitely have been Nathaniel Brown. The article said there has been no contact, says Brown. Said a possible future with the U.S. national team. It's too early to say. I'm not worrying about that. My focus and my mind are with the German U21s. Now, the fact that Poach did not reach out to Nathaniel Brown after what we've seen from Nathaniel Brown and what we just saw again this fucking weekend, this just past weekend, is near criminal that he has not been called by Poach or anybody on the fucking national team.
Contact, yeah.
He should have been called. He should have been reached out to. He should have been fucking, hey, we love what you're doing. I know you're focused on the U21s right now, but I want you to keep us in mind. None of that. He got none of that. That's crazy shit. That is incompetence. Like, that cannot happen. Nathaniel Brown ceiling is obviously high. It doesn't take more than the last 2 months to know that. What are we waiting for? Get on the fucking phone and call Nathaniel Brown. I am pissed about this. I assumed, and I shouldn't have assumed. The only ones I really had like absolutes for were Henry Chase. That's it. But he mentioned multiple players. Like, what other multiple players are there? Dominic Downs? Did he call Dominic Downs and not call Nathaniel Brown? I mean, who the fuck was he talking about then?
Polio show.
Okay, Colio show.
I'll say maybe there's a Mexican dual nets we're not thinking of, but then again, he hasn't reached out to Luna either. So,
yeah, what's going on there? Let's reach out to some motherfuckers and say, listen, we're watching. We just want to let you know we're watching. No begging, no pleading, no come please play for us. Doesn't matter. Just say, hey, we got an eye on you. I just want to let you know we really like what you're doing at Frankfurt, and we're going to be continuing to watch you play. Go out there and do great stuff. We have our eyes on you. Okay, great. That's it. That's not a beg. That's not a plead. That's not a call up. Whatever it is. But just let the dude know you give a fuck. Like Nathaniel Brown, that's fucking criminal. You have not reached out to him.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking near criminal. Like the way he has played for the last 2 months, you have not called this guy out.
Open up the channels of conversation. Again, as we said, and I forgot who I pulled up a second ago. I don't know if he's here or not, but don't go begging. Say please, 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 please.
No begging. No
say,
begging.
Hey, we like what we see. We'd like to bring you into camp one of these days. just extending our invitation.
Left midfield option, left back option behind Jedi. If God forbid Jedi ever gets injured, which he will at some point, Jedi's going to have an injury. And Nathaniel Brown right now is the best fucking backup to him we've got out there. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. The way he's playing for Frankfurt this past weekend, the weekend before that, and the weekend before that. Period. End of story.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sorry. Pisses me off to find that out. And let's note somebody. I don't know who he is in our fan group here. So I'd love to give him credit. But then he did send me the article. I did read it. And I was just flabbergasted. So there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we are going to be moving on to
Transfer news, transfer news. Who's getting mounted on transfer news? Who's getting over on transfer news? Transfer news. Everyone loves that transfer news, but me. Whatever.
Who's getting monitored on transfer news? Well, Ricardo Pepi's getting monitored by Juventus. We talked about it a little bit beforehand.
All right. For the 174 in here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with grandma. As we Juventus, we already talked about this. That seems like a little bit much at this point of the season. If Pepi goes on, if he starts every game, he will lead the league in scoring. He's just that good at doing that. He did miss one. He could have had 4, honestly, in the game, but I watched the game. He could have had 4. He had 3. He is a great and splendid finisher. He is fucking clinical. Like, this kid's good. And I do think there will teams come a-calling. And I think maybe Augsburg's probably shooting themselves in the head right now. But either way, I don't think it's going to be Juventus. I think he's going to have to take another step before going that big.
Do you think, hashtag joking here, by the way, guys, but do you think Juventus are looking at possibly trying to keep their U.S. market share in as we're entering a new window coming up here soon? It's almost a guarantee that McKinney will be placed on a chopping block and get hawked out to anybody that's going to be willing to pay the transfer.
Hawked out. I think he'll be fine.
McKinney's gone. They only have one American left. I mean, they got to get that second American in there.
I think they're all going to keep McKinney from here. I think they may have learned their lesson. But, I don't think it's going to be Juventus. That seems like, we always get like, oh, look, he's playing good. Surely Liverpool, Man United, and all these other people are lining up to get this guy. Booth. Remember the Booth rumors? It's like, come on. Get a grip. Get a fucking grip. So, no. He's not going to Juventus.
So, I mean, PSV paid what, like $8 million from Augsburg?
Yeah.
And so his market value, I believe, is somewhere closer to like 14-ish, give or take. I think he's about at the same level as market value, transfer market as Sargent was when I last looked. Big question is, how much are PSV willing to offload him for?
A lot more than that, and they're going to keep building that up. They also had Pepi in mind as the replacement in the future for Long Dong de Jong. And if Long Dong is injured, which he is now, and I don't know if you've watched Long Dong this season, but he's not had a great season when he has started. Like, Pepi has way less minutes than Long Dong this season, and he scored way more goals than Long Dong. So I think you got to leave.
Way more. I thought he was tied with Long Dong.
No, he's not.
Is he not?
He's tied with some guy from.
Oh, okay, that's who he's tied with. Okay, gotcha.
Some Go Ahead Eagles or no, another team in Holland. I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, he's tied for scoring right now, and he's played a fraction of the minutes that Long Dong has played. So, I don't think PSV have any intentions to let him go. Unless the offers are ridiculous.
I was going to say it would have to be a ridiculous fee, right?
And I just don't see that coming. But we do this constantly. We do this in Twitter constantly. Oh, big offer here. Big offer here. No, there weren't. Let's stop it.
I see the interaction being Juventus reaching out. Hey, we're interested in Ricardo Pepi, and PSV going $45 million.
Yeah,
And UB is like, well, good talking to you.
exactly.
There you go. Is it Sam Stein?
Hold on. Hold on. Yes, he's the lead scorer or tied with him. Nate Wierzbierski says, no way Bosch is going to double back now, Derek. He already said he doesn't really rate Pepi like Luke. That's not what he said. That's not exactly what he said, Nate. He said everybody wants to be the starter. But listen, guys change their minds. And if that game didn't change your mind, if you're Bosch, Den Bosch, I don't know what would. I'm sure he is looking at this and going, okay. Maybe, De Jong's a little long in the tooth. Maybe it is time for Pepi now. I think Pepi is going out there and making Den Bosch have to make some serious decisions going forward. And by the way, even when De Jong was healthy this season, he's been flip-flopping them starting recently. It's been Pepi, then Long Dong, then Pepi, then Long Dong. So there you go. I think we're going to see that for the rest of the season. And if we don't, I'd be surprised. I honestly would. I think that Pepi's proven his point. And Den Bosch is the kind of guy, look what he did with Tillman. I mean, he's anointed Tillman up until the last game. So we'll see what happens. But I really do think that Pepi has made a very serious case to Den Bosch. And I don't know what translations you're reading, but the ones I'm reading don't say he values De Jong over Pepi forever and ever. Like this is going to go on forever. No, I don't. I think he will evolve like anybody else watching these games because, Pepi's been great, frankly. Johnny, Derek is a fake-ass German. Okay. Why am I fake-ass German? I just supported loudly the fact that Nathaniel Brown's getting shafted by not getting a call. What do I need to do? Suck fucking P-Fox nuts? I'm not doing it. P-Fox has been poor for Union Berlin this season. All right.
So, I guess while we're talking about Pepi, did you want to go over the game, the PSV game, or do you want to wait till the Yanks Brown section as a whole?
No, we can go over that, and then we can skim over it in Yanks Abroad.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, Pepi was great. Tillman came in, wasn't as great as always, and then we saw some minutes from Ledesma as well.
We had a number of U.S. players coming back from the international window that had a lackluster weekend. Clearly, all the time that Malik Tillman got this international window has drained him of his performance. So
yeah, it was not great for Tillman. I thought McKennie was all right with Juventus, and Way was fine while he was in. I thought Musa was pretty much non-existent for AC Milan. I think Pulisic came in and made an immediate effect.
Listening to Davies and Tony Miola talk about Musa and the guy they had on during that segment when they talked about the AC Milan game, you would imagine that Musa was like night and day good.
I thought he was okay. I watched the game. His name didn't come up for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. I did not watch it. And from what I hear, thank goodness I did because I heard it was a bore fest.
Yeah, it was. It was a bore.
Mm-hmm.
Which is sad. Although when Pulisic came up, man, he lit fire. He finally started creating things for AC Milan. But, they had to give him the rest because of the international break. They didn't want to push it. They didn't want push injury. So There you go.
Biggest waste of 2 hours of my life.
It was because I was all hyped up for it too.
Nate says that Musa was a ghost.
He was a complete ghost. So this idea that he played well,
They spent like 15 minutes of that conversation talking about why Musa playing
sucking
at
his
white
cock.
wing, why Musa playing at right wing, right wing for both club and country is the best move for Musa. I'm just sitting there going like,
not based on that game.
not based on the USA games either.
He did nothing in the final third as usual.
So,
yeah. Now, the guy that continues, and I get it, he's playing in the Dutch League, but we don't piss on Tillman and Pepi playing in the Dutch League. But fucking Paxton Aaronson is the boss of the fucking Utrecht team that is currently sitting second in Holland.
who would have predicted that, first off?
I mean,
Weren't they borderline relegation?
they were not a
last
good
season?
team. They're not a good team before this. They are currently sit second in the Dutch
Fucking
division,
nuts, man.
ahead of Feyenoord, ahead of Ajax, and there is one man single-handedly responsible for that. Not single-handedly, that's not fair, but certainly a major change and major influence on how Utrecht plays, and that is fucking Paxton Aaronson.
Has Utrecht been playing him deeper in the
Mm-hmm.
midfield consistently, or is that just a recent phenomenon?
No, it's been going on since last season.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I thought the games I checked in on, I thought he was playing more of an advanced role, but okay. Didn't
No,
know
he's playing one of the holding two, but boy, does he get forward. When he sees an opening, that boy is forward.
He's got the Aaronson pace. Of course, he's going to move forward into the attack.
Now he's got something Brendan doesn't,
Sure.
and that is knowing how to make the final pass and finish. Like, that's something Brendan never really acquired, but Paxton has finishing qualities. So we'll see. Not that Brendan played bad for Leeds this weekend. He went the 90 and he did his job. And he has scored for Leeds this season, and he has assisted, and he has been involved in that. But I'm seeing something more special from Paxton. And yes, okay, it's in Holland. It's not the same thing as playing in the championship, because in Holland, you're going to play some shitty teams. But I think Frankfurt made a good pick, and they've made the right decision to loan him. And I do think we will see Paxton Aaronson back at Frankfurt, and I do think we'll see him eventually play a role on that team. He's just doing too well. He's right now, I mean, I saw some stats. He's like the fourth best player in fucking Holland right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what the stats were. Somebody put it up. But anyhow, I couldn't disagree. From what I've watched so far this season, I really am a fan of Paxton Aaronson right now, more than I am of Brendan. And I'm not the biggest cheerleader for Brendan. I've called him out when he sucked, but I'm not seeing any of those falling down things from Paxton. I'm not seeing kind of there's a calmness about Paxton Aaronson that Brendan doesn't have. So
Paxton's the younger brother.
Yes.
He's always had to compete against in the backyard, on the pitch, playing against him, So when you're a younger kid, you have playing against older kids, you have to really man up, if you will.
Yep.
So since you brought up Malik Tillman when we were talking about the PSV game, apparently Tottenham and Aston Villa are looking for new additions, and Malik Tillman is servicing as a potential signing for both.
I don't see it yet.
Yeah. You don't see Tottenham reaching out saying, hey, we need you in the midfield?
No.
No?
And I don't see Aston Villa doing it either. I see a bottom 10 team.
Yeah. I see a player that needs to continue to show up consistently against the better oppositions when the PSV plays in the Champions League or the top couple teams in
how about the U.S. men's national team?
Or show up at the U.S. men's national team level. That'd be great too. Because right now, I mean, yes, people are going to highlight matches like this Champions League game he played really well, or this game he played really well. But more often than not, he tends to ghost in those bigger matches. and then really shows up in the mid-tier, lower tier.
He played really well against Dortmund in the Champions League. That's all I can remember. Other than that, I've been quite underwhelmed. And then very underwhelmed so far with the U.S. men's national team.
It's frustrating because you see the flashes, you see what's there, the potential, and if only he can manage to do it consistently and at the higher levels consistently. I mean, the speed of pace at the international game may just not work out to his benefit, quite frankly.
Yeah. We'll see. Listen, despite what Tact and Pete might say, I think it's mostly Tact. I do not think that Tillman is a lazy player who doesn't care about playing for his national team. If you watch him with PSV, he also plays in that same languid manner. He is one of the languid guys. Like Reyna, he's languid.
He's a discount Reyna is what you're trying to say.
Yes. They don't look like they're trying because they're so smooth, but they're trying. Trust me. And I think it's not about effort. It's not about give a fuck. It's just about like figuring out how to fit into whatever system it is that he's playing in. It works really good at PSV, and it hasn't really worked anywhere else. And it worked fine at Rangers, whatever, but that's Rangers. So we'll see what happens. But no, Tottenham, no. Aston Villa, no. Quit putting this garbage out. No. Stop it.
There are rumors.
I don't care.
There are rumors, and you have to get ahead of these rumors. Otherwise, it's old news.
They're rumors I fucking Lady Madonna. Doesn't really matter.
Nice.
It's not true. Never happened. I never fucked Madonna. All right. She was older than me.
Yeah, of course.
Atletico Madrid reportedly see Real Betis and U.S. men's national team midfielder Johnny Cardoso as a priority transfer in January. Oh, God. Which would spoil the plans of Tottenham, who have a clause to land him in the summer. He seemingly caught the eye of Atletico Madrid manager Diego Simeone this season due to his performance in the Betis 1-0 victory over his side in October. Okay, that's fine. And he would fit into a Diego Simeone team pretty well. So I'm not shitting on this one.
I think of the ones we've covered today, this is the more realistic one.
Yeah, he's not a Tottenham player. I don't think that's going to work. He'd be better off going to Madrid, Atletico Madrid, frankly.
Hey, be careful with that too. I'd be better off to Madrid. And all of a sudden, people are like Derek said that Cardoso should be better off going to Madrid.
Oh yeah.
AC or
so all those presumptive motherfuckers, when you say Madrid, just think Real Madrid's the only team that plays in Madrid. No, Atletico would be an okay next step for him. Going to Tottenham is throwing him into the fire. You can do it if you want to, but it seems like a big ass leap. Really a big ass leap. So, yeah, there we go.
What's next? I can't read it. I gotta bounce out. I want to bounce into the next conversation without even knowing it. Okay, well, that's all the transfer news we have. I got some updates on some players real quick, and then we can jump into Yanks Abroad.
Okay.
So Weston McKennie apparently did not train today due to fatigue.
Yeah.
We're going to reevaluate him tomorrow, and we'll see what happens with the game against Aston Villa.
And when they say fatigue, what that means is McKennie didn't come and say, I'm fatigued. They put him on the walker. They hooked all that shit up onto all his muscles, all the little, receptors onto all his muscles. And they got a scanning of what that looked like. They went, listen, dude, you look fatigued. Your muscles look fatigued. Take a break. All this shit is done scientifically now. No dude walks in. Like in the old days, you talk about Stevie Nichols going in. Motherfucker told him his fatigue. He'd say, fuck off. I'm fine. Right? But you can't do that anymore because they hook you up to the machines, and the machines tell the physios that you are worn out and you need a break. And that's what happened to Pulisic, by the way, prior to the AC Milan game. They're like, oh, yeah, he can do like 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, best.
So that's because the guys who created the physio machines or whatever down there in Italy are Juve fans.
Well, yeah, I mean, but Wea didn't play either until the end, right? So
Sure, fair enough. But apparently, and this came from conversation with Davies and Mule and whoever, I forgot the guy's name that was on there with them. But apparently he was penciled in as a starter to cover for Vlahovic, but then deemed not healthy to start.
yeah, that's another one of those physio checks where you hook them up, you take their readings when they run gently and then they can tell muscle wear. And they can tell things like how much acid's been built up in the muscles and whether or not they've had full recovery. And so, based on that, they'll say you can do 20 or you can do 10, but you can't do 90 and you can't do 70 or whatever it is. And that's what happened to Pulisic. And that's what happened to Wea. So it's fine. It is what it is. And you know what? So far, Pulisic's been healthy at AC Milan for the most part, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I can live with it.
I don't think there's anything about the Jamaica home match that was going to keep Wea out of the match this week. I call bullshit on the physio. I think they need to reprogram that shit.
I mean, he put a lot of effort in, though, in that game. So.
I know, but I mean, he played the one game and then flew back. I mean, did he even fly to Jamaica? Why would he?
I don't know if he did or not, but still, they hook motherfuckers up for that shit. So all this is done scientifically, because if you don't think that AC Milan and Fonseca wanted to start Pulisic, you're crazy. He absolutely did want to. But you've got the acids, somebody said lactic acid, that's it. Like they can measure that now. And they can measure the wear in your muscles, and they can say this guy is not all there. He's at 80%. So, no, he's not going to be able to play 90 minutes or even 70. So then you end up on the bench. That made that game this weekend boring, honestly, because I wanted to see Pulisic from the start. I kind of figured he might not, but there you go. That's how it works.
I don't know. It's such a big match. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that either side just didn't, roll the dice.
I think Fonseca mentioned it too.
Yeah.
He said, we would, of course, started Pulisic. He just couldn't. His body wasn't capable of going 90. So there you go.
This is the beginning before Skynet takes over and start with our athletes. They take him out of the equation. He's not healthy to play. He can't play. And then all of a sudden, we're underground trying to kill Terminators. It's all part of the thing. That's how it happens.
Yep. It's supposed to be more scientific, though. Yep. Step one for Gio.
Fuck science, right?
Yeah, fuck it. I know the old guys like you and I, we didn't have that shit. We'd be like, fuck that. I'm starting.
My back's a little stiff, I guess, but I'll muscle through it, whatever.
You're not going to tell me I can't play this game. Fuck you. All right. I'm fucking with my volume.
So here. Adam says, step one for Gio, get fully healthy and play soccer consistently, be available. Step two, find a club where you can play and don't be afraid to go to PSV level team like Des did. Humble yourself and go develop and prove it. That's really it. It'll happen for him if he does those two.
Are we giving up on Dortmund for Reyna?
I don't know. He's been injured since August 28th. So he came back to training. He was healthy at training, and this is the first time he hit the game 18, and he got 12 minutes. He went out there. They're already up 4-0, of course. He went out there and played like a guy recovering from an injury when his team is already up 4-0.
I mean, we keep hearing this from Cact and from Adam. We love these guys, but I really think it's just too early to give up on Gio at Dortmund right now, as long as he's healthy. And if he's not healthy, it doesn't matter where he goes. If he's not healthy, he can go PSV, he can go fuck around wherever. But if he's not healthy, it doesn't really matter.
Well, the fact of the matter is, nobody's going to come knocking in January.
No,
he's there. He's there to the summer, and at that point, yeah, both Dortmund, him, they both have to reevaluate the current situation.
Correct. Like
So-
he's not moving in January, people.
No, fuck
If
that.
he does, that's a really stupid decision on both parts.
Or that team is just desperate at that point.
So
Which- that too.
yeah,
But-
he'll get minutes and he'll play, and we'll see if he gets more minutes as the season develops. And it's not like Dortmund's blowing anybody's balls off right now. Dortmund have been pretty pitiful so far. So they're probably thinking about like who else they can use to turn things around this season. So let's give him a shot. Let's see if he can stay healthy. But all this talk about him leaving soon or going somewhere, it ain't happening. He's gonna be in Dortmund the full season.
Yeah.
All right, people. We already did the Nottingham Forest thing. That didn't work. All right.
When he went on the pitch, I mean, he's not a fish out of water when it comes to Dortmund. When he goes out there, I mean, he didn't do anything special by any means. Again, he completed 100% of his passes. They were all just balls moving them around. He's getting into spaces. But as you're watching Dortmund make the progression forward, he slides right in there with that midfield, and they're all moving as kind of a unit in such a perfect way that fits that team.
Yeah.
It doesn't require them to do like 40-yard sprints down the pitch. So I mean, we've talked about Cole Campbell before, and the biggest thing people are talking about is his pace. I'm like, well, Dortmund can play with pace, but they don't necessarily play 100 miles an hour, type balls down the sides.
And no offense, but it's not like Dortmund's been kicking ass with fucking Reyna missing. So, they need something. They need some new idea going forward.
So my big point there, because I know Larry just brought up the fact that Green is faster this season. Gio's not a fast player. Like, he doesn't run fast. He covers ground, but he moves with purpose up the pitch.
He's languid. Derek is going to have to start shoving Crow up his tush because his mouth will be full of what? I mean, we both had to come to terms with the fact that Reyna is now what I would call an injury-prone player. But that didn't happen at Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, Brett and I survived that, right?
Yeah.
Now, was it a great time at Nottingham Forest for Reyna? No. So in that case, I think we did eat a little bit of crow, or I did. But, I mean, really, I don't know. I mean, what are we going to crow about? That Reyna's going to leave in the winter transfer window from Dortmund? No, he's not. No, he's not. Dortmund will make pennies off of the millions he used to be worth. Pennies. They're not going to do that. They're going to play him as much as they can this season and maybe sell him afterwards if they can convince other teams this kid is still got it. But maybe if they think he's still got it, they'll keep him. If they still think he's got it. Now that he's healthy, if he can stay healthy, but that's a whole nother thing, right?
Untouchable says, Derek, why do you want Gio to stay? He doesn't play when he's healthy. Now, you got to remember that he has a new coach that wants to utilize him.
Yep.
At least that's what he stated in the preseason.
Sahin, yep.
First game, he played 9 minutes. Second game, he was on the bench. And then the third game, he was injured until now.
Yes, we don't know.
We don't know how he's going to fit in there. But I guess the point being is that he's not going to go anywhere in January.
No,
if he does, it's going to be another really awkward situation.
And you guys can all catch up with us then if you want. And we will be right. Those of us telling us we're going to eat crow in the winter transfer window. We're not. Gio's not going anywhere in the winter transfer window. Nowhere at all. The board made it very clear this season that the younger players were going to get to play this season. Some of them have. Reyna being one of the ones they were focused on. So I think we're going to see him. The fact that he got to play some minutes in this last game and his first time available back, it's good news. He didn't look like crap. He looked like he fit in. And they're not doing well. So they need something to spark them. And I don't know if that's Reyna, but certainly they're going to try some shit. Sahin, who is a Reyna believer and has known Reyna since he was a youth player at Dortmund, is going to give him a run. I do think so. I might be wrong, but I don't think so. We'll see what happens, but he ain't leaving in the winter. No way. That would be Dortmund conceding that he's not much of a player and losing out on $40 million that he used to be worth.
Well, and that's the thing. They're at that point, if they transfer him in the winter, they're cutting their losses.
Yes,
because they're basically saying that there's no chance in hell he's going to increase his market value.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right. Because his market value now is what, 12? 18?
Well, let me double check. Actually, it's right here. I got pulled up.
It might have gone down since the last time we saw it.
He's 12.
So that's even gone down since the 18. So they're losing almost $30 million on what he used to be worth. And at some point, you do have to cut your losses, but I don't think they're willing to do that with a 22-year-old yet. I think they're going to play him this season, see if they can build that 12 back up to at least 24. I mean, for Christ's sake. And then if not, if this season ends up being a flop for him, then, yeah, they're probably just going to cut him loose at the end of the season and sell him for whatever they can get, 10, 8. And then some team, if he can stay healthy, is going to get a good deal.
Yeah. Hopefully,
yeah.
Yep. So here we go. We got Davies and Mula talking about Gio. Let's see what they have to say about that.
What do you think of Gio Reyna at this stage? And like you said, it's a long build up to March to get fit, to get minutes. Is he going to stay at Dortmund in your mind? Is this a get to January healthy and then, assess my options?
Okay, so I'm going to break it down this way for you. I did this on our radio show earlier today, my 3-ups. I don't think we can be as successful as we want to be and expect to be in 2026 unless Gio Reyna is part of the picture.
What are your thoughts on that, Derek?
Play that again. I'm sorry. I was reading something. I was reading The Alchemist, which we should bring up.
Well, let's pull that up, I guess, before we play it then. This one you talking about?
You and Derek want him to play himself back, but not considering that Dortmund may not really have the patience anymore, as seen in the recent transfers mixing experienced players. Listen, they made this decision a long time ago. Well, a year ago, year and a half ago. Dortmund are willing to stick with him. They do believe in him. The board does, for sure. Now, the coach, the former coach, not so much. This coach, they brought in specifically because he's good with young players, and they thought that would be good for Reyna and some of the other young players we've mentioned on the show multiple times. So, no, it's not that simple. I don't think they're giving up until this season, full season is over. Full season. I mean, then they might give up.
The only way they're going to give up on him by January is if a good above market value bid comes in.
Yeah,
which doesn't happen in January usually.
And it's
usually it's January. You're talking about bit pieces here and there, and outside of the major teams like Bayern and Madrid and all that stuff. I mean, most clubs are just going to be looking at spending like $1 million here and $1 million there type things, just to shore up things.
Just keep in mind, this was a kid, as Fumar said, that was tearing up the Bundesliga at 17, along with Holland and others. Just killing it. Was a great player in the Bundesliga. You can't tell me that all just disappeared. I think they're looking for that Reyna to come back. And they're also looking for some maturity and other things, and I think they're going to get it. But anyhow, I'm sorry I got distracted.
Yeah.
Brett.
I mean, ultimately, if he gets playing time, his value will increase. Hopefully, he bags some goals or assists here and there. But I mean, will he work his way to becoming a starter by the end of the season? I don't know. Depends, I guess.
And we're just trying to tell you the reality of this. This is not. I'm not giving you what I really, wish for Reyna. I'm just telling you what I think will generally happen with Reyna this season. This isn't wishful thinking. This is not me being on Reyna's dick. I'm just telling you what Dortmund have told the press and what the Dortmund fucking board have been reported on saying. They want Reyna, specifically the him, and the other young players to get playing time this season. And if he's healthy now, he will.
Well, we talked about with the previous manager. They, the big thing that was going against him was all the youth players and their market value drop. I think what we covered like 4 to 6 players.
Yes.
On that team, and then there was like 120 million decrease in market value.
Yes. Yep.
Something stupid like that.
Right. Exactly.
So
they're bleeding money. They're bleeding money.
They're a bottom line team, and it's all about the money at that point.
They're a selling team that's bleeding their selling players. They can't bleed money on their selling players. And right now, all of them were bleeding after last season. They lost around $100 million. Their young players that they brought in to be superstars all dropped in transfer value by $100 million. They cannot. The board was completely freaked out by that. And that's why what's-his-fuck lost his job, period.
Daniel says, Gio's been a pro player for almost 6 years now, dude. Should be thriving at a bigger club, not stagnant and injured all the time. Well, I mean, that's the reason why he's stagnant.
He's injured.
He's been injured. And that has nothing to do with him as a player. Unfortunately, it has him to do with just injuries in general, just fucking him royal.
Yeah, he can't wave a magic wand and make himself, bulletproof and healthy. No player can do that.
Well, let's also remember though that when he came back from injury, he went to the World Cup, got bit minutes there, but then after the World Cup, he had 4 goals and 4 assists while playing for the U.S. men's national team.
Yes, I
mean, he's still productive when he gets his opportunities. It's just it requires him to be healthy enough to get opportunities. Unfortunately, I know it's become a meme at this point, but I really do think it's the medical staff or just medical staffs in general around Dortmund. It's like there's no possible fucking way that injuries just flood out of that team the way that they do. So
right, and Afumar makes a great point. He's played great for us when he's been healthy. He just hasn't got to play for Dortmund because every time he comes back from one of our camps, he's injured. And, he's starting to get into that Josh Sargent category where he already is, where he's just a player riddled with injuries for, in Sargent's case, his country, and in Reyna's case, his club. He plays for us, and then he goes back and gets injured for his club. This is not, and I also agree with Fulmar, everybody needs to take a fucking chill pill and just let this work out. But he ain't going anywhere that's going to be better for him if he can't stay healthy. I don't care if he goes to fucking PSV or Panathinaikos. If he can't stay healthy, he ain't playing, period.
Yeah, he'll have different medical staffs at that point, so who knows?
Well,
okay. So here's what you're supposed to listen to.
Huge accomplishment to get back on the pitch. What do you think of Gio Reyna at this stage? And like you said, it's a long build up to March to get fit, to get minutes. Is he going to stay at Dortmund in your mind? Is this a get to January healthy and then assess my options?
Okay, so I'm going to break it down this way for you. I did this on our radio show earlier today, my 3 ups. I don't think we can be as successful as we want to be and expect to be in 2026 unless Gio Reyna is part of the picture.
Ooh,
right?
I agree with that.
Yeah, we lack creativity in the midfield.
Yep.
Now, if we continue to play this way, and Pulisic is playing 90 or 70 or whatever like that, where does Gio play? What formation? But we've been far more dangerous in the attack in the past. Now, under Poach's a little different.
Recent past against Jamaica, it was single-handedly Haji Wright and Reyna that got us back into that game.
Mm-hmm.
Single fucking handedly, those two did it. Well, double-handedly, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I do want to pull up BMR mentions. that we can't keep blaming Dortmund's medical staff. That gets old. LOL. I mentioned it's a meme at this point. Yes, I know that's kind of the go-to, but it's also I don't think it gets old. I think it's still kind of fun.
It's still fun, and by the way, they still had the worst last season, the worst injury list in all of fucking the Bundesliga. So something's not right, even after they fired everybody and brought new people in. So something's not going right at Dortmund, health-wise.
No, fine. And again, I know it's a meme, guys. It really is, but there's some truth to it. Now, whether or not it's all Gio or it's all the medical stuff, I don't think it's either. I think there's just been some misvaluations at times. Gio's like, well, I'm good to go, and then all of a sudden he's not good to go. I don't know.
Well, listen, injuries are a wacky thing. Yes, you can get struck by the injury twig as you fall down the tree, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes people fall down the tree and hit 2 twigs or 2 branches. Some guys hit 4. Some guys hit 1. Some guys injure themselves in the fall as they hit the ground. I'm just saying. I mean, today, for instance, I was in class and I turned around and, by the way, the student tables, they're big and heavy in a science class, and they're black. So they blend in with the dark rug below. And I just nailed a fucking desk with my left thigh. Injury. Like, I couldn't play soccer tomorrow. So all kinds of weird shit can happen.
Are you talking about you now?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you get an injury now, you're out for 4 or 5 weeks. Easy. Like, I banged my knee trying to get to my dog because he had something he shouldn't be having and chasing him around the living room. And I banged my knee into this wooden table we have in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was cursing at the dog so under my breath that he stopped and dropped what he had. But I still have, like, my knee is still bruised on the bone.
I mean, we're old.
This was weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Yeah,
I mean, we're old.
We get over injuries far slow.
Yeah. I mean, listen, when I was young, I still had a knee injury for like a quarter of a season. So it does happen. But yeah. All right. Yanks Abroad report.
Mm-hmm.
He had on Friday K Cal going 7 whole fucking minutes for Chivas in a lot.
Yeah, he has match fatigue.
Yeah. Sendejas, 90 minutes, an assist and a win for America. Joe Corona was in the 18 for Tijuana. And then Castaneda, 90 minutes for Paderborn in another win. So, Castaneda is a guy to keep an eye on. He really is for Paderborn. I mean, we've talked about him on this show multiple times, but this kid's doing at a very young age, 18, I think, some amazing shit in 2 Bundesliga. Tyler Adams, 65 minutes in a loss. Not his best game. Kind of mildly responsible for one of the goals. Richards played extra time for Crystal Palace. Of course, Turner rode Pine the whole time. Jedi, 90 minutes in what was horrific loss.
Who'd you say rode Pine that the whole time?
Turner.
Oh, I don't know why I thought you said Richards there.
No, Richards played in extra time. Jedi, 90 minutes in what was just a horrible game for Fulham, which
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, man, I saw the score. I'm like, holy, against the Wolves, really?
Jesus, dude. Wolves were, I don't know what's going on, but they were really good in that game. I mean, really good. And anyhow, Coliocho, 76 and a win. Holmes, 3 minutes in the tie for Preston North End. Maloney, 84 and a loss. They now sit 15th in the league. So maybe time for Heidenheim to start worrying a little bit and maybe, I don't know, thinking about what they need to do differently. Henri Chase got the last 5 for Stuttgart in that win. Reyna, 12 minutes, as we mentioned earlier. Campbell was in the 18, didn't play for Dortmund. Pifak, 90 minutes in a loss for a dreadful Union Berlin team. And
Gonna say there were some highlights of a Dortmund U21 where Cole, I think he had a goal. So he didn't play for the big boys, but he played for the U21s.
he was on the bench for the game this weekend, though.
Mm-hmm.
Nathaniel Brown, another 90 minutes and a very impressive 90 minutes for Frankfurt in a win, playing left back. Hello, Poach. Phone call.
Anybody there, McFly? Think.
For Christ's sake. Zahir Al-Aslam, 30 minutes and a loss for St. Truden. They are going down the shitter. Marlon Fossey played, I don't remember how much. Bello, 90 minutes and a win for Lask. Donovan Pines, 33 for Barnsley, way down there in League One in a loss. Slonina wasn't even on the bench. Didn't make the 18. So he's gone from number 1 to number 3? Really? Oh my God.
Barring possible injury, but yeah, it sounds like it.
If it's not injury and he keeps being the number 3, he's going back to Chelsea in this winter break. They're going to cut that loan off. Guarantee it. Mark my words. All right. Dietz 90 and Green 90 and a loss for Greuther Fürth. Now that their season's going down the tubes. Toljan 90 minutes and a win for Sassuolo. Jonathan Klinsmann, another 90 minutes for Cesena. They are currently 4th in Serie B. He is now the regular starter. And I mean, shit, at this point, I'm willing to look at anybody. He's really good with his feet. His problem was the rest of the game, but he's good with his feet. Anyhow, a tie for Cesena. Testament 11 at Lyon in a tie. Pepi, we already mentioned. Tillman and Ledesma, we already mentioned. And then Musa, 84, Pulisic 20 in that tie versus McKinney and Weah. McKinney with 80, Weah with 10. And then on Sunday, Ryan Hollinshead scored for LAFC. Jordan Morris got a goal for Seattle. But here's the real thing to think about and worry about if you are a fan of developing domestic American talent in our own MLS league. Orlando started 0 American players. 0. Atlanta started 2. LAFC started 2. Seattle started 5. LA Galaxy started 3. And Minnesota started 2. So you're looking at under 3 players. 2.6, I haven't done the math. Americans starting per team in the playoffs for MLS teams. That's lower than it was 4 years ago. Okay? That's not good. It's not good.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, it's not good. Obviously,
since one of the players is always the goalie.
So it's like with the number of green cards that get passed out, and then the international spots, the number of international spots we have. Yeah, you're gonna start seeing that happen, especially as MLS teams are offloading some of their better youth talent to Europe. And then you have the remains of their youth talent that necessarily won't be competing against these international players.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where did I mean, that's I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the reasons why MLS Next Pro turned away from being a U23 league.
Right.
They're going to sit there and say, like, where the hell are we going to be putting these guys?
Yeah. Because if you're starting 2 players, have a starting 11, and one of them's the goalie, there's 1 outfield player. Right. So it's not looking great for Americans in MLS right now, in the playoffs, at least, for sure.
So, Derek, I wanted to point this out for Gaga. This was his last 4 games.
Is he injured?
On the bench, not in the squad, not in the squad, not in the squad. And then next match is information not yet available. But it's already marked as him not being on the squad. I wonder if he's on his way back to Chelsea already.
Yeah, I think he might be.
All right. Back
No
where we
injury.
were.
I have not read
It doesn't state any injuries, so yeah.
Yep. I think that they gave him a shot and they were not impressed. Brendan Aaronson.
Or what if he got benched and he threw a fit and they're just like, well, fuck off, dude.
Maybe. But it's also about if you're Barnsley, like, this is a Chelsea guy that's supposed to help us, and he hurt us. So, he's a lone guy. So if we're not going to use this guy, then we're just going to drop him down a third string.
Or that could be part of the contract for loan as well, though. If they're not going to use him, he's going to go back to Chelsea type thing.
Yes, that's why I said I think he's going back to Chelsea in the winter.
Yeah.
Yep. Make sure that the 206 of you here now, make sure you like and subscribe. Share it with your grandma. Slip your stepsister the tongue. Damn, not your sister, your stepsister. Let's be really clear about that. All right, Brendan
sister from another mister.
Brendan Aaronson, 90 minutes in a win. Sabi, 61 in a win for Le Havre. Scally, 21 minutes injury. I couldn't tell how bad it was. It's really hard to say.
Enough to pull him out at the 21st minute. So
yeah, it wasn't good.
We'll definitely be out for a game or so.
But another win for Gladbach.
Yeah.
Griffin Yao, 84 minutes. I guess he got a goal. Somebody said he got a goal. I didn't see it. And I watched the game. Now, I get it. Sometimes when I watch a game, it's in the background because I'm doing other things. But I usually catch a goal. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. He did score a goal. I did in my notes. I got goal. Okay. He did score a goal. I didn't just hear it. I wrote it down. So I watched the game and he scored a goal. I don't remember it. I don't remember the goal at all. But it was a busy weekend. Reynolds with 90, by the way, in that game for Westerlo. Paxton Aaronson, we already talked about at length. Another assist, a win, 90 minutes. Booth got 32. Didn't do much. Johan Gomez, 90 minutes for Braunschweig. They are currently sitting 15th out of 18 teams. That is nervous city if you're Johan Gomez and your teammates. Bucio, 90 minutes and a loss for what is really looking to be a dreadful season for Venezia, who sit at the very bottom of the table for Serie A. Joe Corona, 60 minutes for Tijuana and a win. And then for Dordrecht in the second division of Holland, Hilton, 90 minutes. And then Osundina, 90 minutes and a goal. This Osundina kid, I mean, I get it. It's the second division, but man, he scores a lot of goals and he plays a lot of minutes. So maybe something there. I'm going to keep an eye on him, but I mean, he looks like a player who's ready to jump up to the first division in Holland. I don't think he's going to stay with Dordrecht next season. Not so sure about Hilton, but Hilton's a left back. So those left backs are just marketable. Like everyone needs one. So we'll see what happens. Westerlo, not Westerloo. It's Westerlo, John. Westerlo, not Westerloo. It would need two O's like Waterloo, which is also in Belgium, where the famous battle was fought. That is Waterloo. One O is Westerlo, not Westerloo. Just saying. It took me a long time to fix that with Pete. So let's not confuse Pete. If he's watching this show, let's not confuse him. All right. I think that's it, Brett.
Did you already cover Downs?
What happened to Downs?
I don't know. Untouchables was saying $100. Derek says Dominic Downs.
No, he's not even on my list today. I don't think he played this weekend for Kern.
I don't think Dominic's a professional player at all.
Well, Downs is.
Yeah, Damien,
but
that's why he was saying you would say $100 a year. Going to say Dominic Downs again.
You know, that's not a bad bet.
that and McKenzie when he means to say McKinney. Those are the two ones that you can almost guarantee to make profit on.
Depends on how much I've been drinking. before the show and during it on whether or not I get that right or not. If I'm drinking quite a bit, I get it wrong. So
you said you already said Dominic once this episode, so
oh, he's right. I probably did. Yes, it's Damien. Derek. Damien. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to get it right anytime soon, but that's okay.
Old habits, hard to break, and you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Both work fine here.
They die hard, as they say. Old habits. Anyhow, we do appreciate you all coming out, all 213 of you tonight. That was great. We will be back not on Thursday, right? Because that's Thanksgiving.
Yep.
You guys need to enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family. Don't talk politics or whatever you got to do. You guys decide what the rules are. I mean, I can do it in my family, even though we're a mixed party family. We have a great time talking politics. It's a lot of fun because we don't take it personally, and it's a lot of intrigue and interesting things. But yeah, if it's not going to work for your family, don't do it. Just don't do it. Avoid it, I suppose. But yeah, certainly, hopefully nobody got disowned for whoever they voted for, because that's just fucking ridiculous at this point. They're family. Family is above all else. I don't care what you disagree with them on politically. They're your family. That's blood. That's blood. That's the people that birthed you out of their fucking pussy, and the father that raised you alongside of the mother who birthed you out of her vagina. So,
it's because they parted the labia, right?
They parted the labia. Yes. Believe me, that took effort on her part to push you out. So give her some credit, even if you disagree with her. It's your mom. It's your fucking mom. It's your mom.
Let's not take away from the people who, took a lightsaber to their stomach and had a C-section. Baby.
PT says,
actually use that lightsaber to cauterize it. There we go.
Johnny keeps saying I'm not German.
Yeah, he keeps calling you a fake German. He's been snuggling up close to your nuts all show.
What the fuck is wrong with fucking Larry, dude? What the hell have I done?
He's saying that he says you're a fake German, banned Germans.
I haven't banned any Germans.
Yeah.
How long did I fucking talk about John Brooks? How long? How do I win my German card back? Jesus Christ.
Shorthand for that is the G card, by the way.
The G card. Oh, I don't need to win it back. I'm fine. I'm just glad I don't have a German accent anymore. So, I lost that when I was about 7 or 8 years old. Thank God. Where I had to work on it too. By the way, that was not something I could do, unintentionally. I had to do it on purpose because kids were making fun of me in class when I was 5 and 6 for my accent. So, yeah.
As Untouchable says, you need to eat a pretzel to prove them wrong, and you got to have a beer stein in your other hand.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I'll work on that.
The entire next show, Derek, you gotta go the entire show with your German accent.
Larry's always on my balls. He's just riding them so hard. All right, Larry, I do love it. Just leave my balls a little alone sometimes. Don't ride them so hard.
Right now.
These are balls that sustained severe damage not long ago when my intestines dropped into them. So give them a break.
Yeah, Larry. Larry, you're no Eagle Claws, Larry. Come on.
No, he is kind of like an Eagle Claw, actually. He's kind of an outside irritant that's going to have to be plucked from them and cause major pain. Anyhow, we love all you guys. Have a great fucking Thanksgiving. Enjoy
Broken
your
Furnace says that you doing the German accent would be great. He wants me to do a Jamaican accent. I don't know about that.
I can only do the dog now.
Give me enough booze. I'll do. I'll go Russian.
We did not have our friend, our great friend. What is his name? The guy I always
do in the background.
Turd. What is the turd in the background?
He's been missing a lot of shows recently.
What is he doing with his time?
Snuggling up the Poach to get on his good side, I guess.
I think he's been fucking his stepsister, honestly. I think he's been giving her the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 right in the pussy. You know what I mean? Just totally giving her his balls already is what I'm saying. And he's giving it to her. I'm thankful for this show. Puto, we are too. We love you guys. It's been a lot of fun. We will be back on next Monday's show. Until then, enjoy the turkey and the, well, make sure you do the, the yams with the marshmallows. And then, yeah, those are good too. Make sure you don't come on them. You don't come on any
You're
of
slowly
your...
but surely losing that accent, Derek, and you're going back to your normal accent.
Don't come on the yams, is all I'm saying. Don't come on the yams, just the marshmallow sauce, not the fucking cum. Keep your cock in your pants. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, go fuck yourselves. We love you. All right, good night.
That hurt.
I'm really proud of the way that the guys just put in the shit.
Hey, what's it like in Brazil right now? Is it warm?
Yeah.
It's always hot, huh? Yeah.